Welcome to the second video of Chinese Makes Sense. This video is going to talk about the design decisions of Chinese. As you may know, the design decision of the languages has a huge influence on that specific language. As far as I know, the design decisions of Chinese and the relationships within those decisions were never discussed anywhere else. You might think that the design decisions of a certain language won't help you at all. But trust me, knowing how Chinese was designed can help you learn from it. And even native speakers can benefit too. When talking about design decisions, you might be looking for a specific designer of Chinese. However, no single person designed Chinese. Legend says Tang Jie is the inventor of Chinese. And this language has been evolving for thousands of years. As a result, modern Chinese is quite different from ancient Chinese. On the other hand, there are some very clear design decisions of Chinese, which makes it very different from languages that use alphabets, such as English. The first decision of Chinese is combining concepts together. Unlike English, for Chinese, all characters carry concepts. Chinese words usually consist of two characters. By combining the concept of the first character with the concept of another character, you can form a new concept with the combination of two characters, which forms a new word. For example, 火 meaning fire and 山 meaning mountain. What may you think 火山 means? If you guess volcano, then you're right. Keep it up. It's not just words. Many characters are combinations of other characters too. For example, in the previous video, talked about this character Ming, which had two other characters, and Yue, meaning sun and moon respectively. Now, by looking at the next character, Lin, which is composed of two Mu's, meaning wood. Can you guess the meaning of this character? If you guess that this character means woods, then you're correct. And if you got the previous one correct as well, then give yourself a pat on the back. Let's talk about the pros and cons of combining concepts. The pros are that it's easy to understand and even guess the meanings of words or characters. And this is the biggest advantage of Chinese over every other language, including English. In fact, average Chinese people don't need dictionaries since high school. How great is that? Another pro is that Chinese has excellent expandability. So if you know Dian means electric and Nao means brain, you might be able to guess what Dian Nao means. And with the help of your current knowledge, you could pretty much guess that 电脑 means computer. As for cons, unlike English, Chinese characters don't carry enough pronunciation information. As a result, Chinese people need to memorize the pronunciation of a few thousand characters. And there are also several dialects too. People use the same characters, but pronounce them differently, which can cause quite some confusion. Assuming you don't know the meaning of certain English words such as cattle, beef, and buffalo, it can often be hard to guess by just looking at the words. Chinese, on the other hand, combines certain characters, which makes it easier to guess their meaning. For example, 牛 meaning cattle and 肉 meaning meat combined to make 牛肉, or in other words, beef. Combining concepts in English is similar to that in Chinese. English sometimes combines words to form new words. For example, earthquake and moonlight. And sometimes English also uses root words, prefixes, and suffixes as well. For example, unprecedented. However, the reason why you don't see too many compound words in English as the one mentioned before is because we need to avoid using too many syllables. If you like root words in English, you will like Chinese because Every Chinese character is a root word. You already know that English tries to avoid using too many syllables when trying to form compound words. So you might be asking yourself, well, how can Chinese do this very easily? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in design decision number 2, one syllable per character. One pro is that most Chinese words only have 2 syllables. That's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. As a result, this makes combining concepts, which is the first design decision, feasible. As to cons, this results in a lot of pronunciation overloading. What this means is that many characters share the same pronunciation, which can cause quite some confusion for beginners. Let me give you an extreme example for pronunciation overloading.
诗是时时史，时是诗是诗是，事实事实实施，是时时是是是施，时时是时时是是，事实是诗是是是，事事是实施，事实是史是实施是是，事实是实施施，事实是实事施，事实是是实事，实事是事实事实是实施施，实时史实事实实施，实实实施事事是事。
The good news is that in real life, pronunciation overloading isn't that bad. This may be common for characters, but is very rare for words. In order to solve the problem of pronunciation overloading, we use 4 different tones, including a neutral tone in pronunciation. The first tone goes directly horizontally, the second tone goes up, the third tone goes down and then back up, and then the fourth tone goes down. For example, ma, 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 ma. When using tones, English almost stays pretty much the same. For example, in just stays as in unless you put emphasis on it. Chinese, on the other hand, utilizes these tones a lot more. For example, yin, as in yin yang, yin, yin, yin. By using tones in Chinese, this makes design decision number 2, which was having 1 syllable per character, feasible. Without tones, there'd only be 408 possible pronunciations, but with the addition of these tones, this number is nearly quadrupled. However, with all these different tones, this could make it hard for English-speaking people to learn. For design decision number 4, it has to deal with drawings to strokes. Initially, all characters were drawings. For example, sun, moon, and mountain. Later, at around 200 BC to 280, all drawings are abstracted. They're replaced by a combination of strokes. The 8 basic strokes are used. Can be found in this character below. This character is Yong. It means forever. As by just looking at this character, you can already notice all the strokes, each of them with their own unique way of drawing them. For example, Heng is just a horizontal line, and Dian is just a dot. And similar things apply to all the other strokes as well. The pros of using strokes makes it easier to write. However, this brings in the con of making it less intuitive and artistic than drawings. Design decision for Chinese is simplify when possible. It favors short sentences over long sentences with many clauses. In Chinese, there's no plural form. In English, you have to say I have 2 hands, but in Chinese, you say 我有2只手, which literally translates to I have 2 hands. Same amount of information. Also, there are no special past tense or past participle verbs in Chinese. In English, you use the words go, went, and gone, all for different situations. But in Chinese, all 3 of those have the same character, 走, in them. However, there are some exceptions. Measure words. In English, for certain collective nouns or units, you have to use a different measure word. For example, a school of fish, a pride of lions, 1 gallon of water, etc. Otherwise, you just say the noun without a measure word. For example, a mountain, a book, etc. Chinese, even for single objects that don't need a unit, you still have to use a measure word. For example, 一座山, which translates to one mountain in English, still requires the measure word 座. And also for collective nouns as well. For example, 三个人, which translates to 3 people in English, where the measure word is 个. The last decision of Chinese is about how characters were created. This is discussed in detail in the following link, but we'll summarize it in this chart. The first way characters were created is pictograph, which is basically just drawing pictures. For example, 人 meaning human and 木 meaning wood. The next way is ideographs, which are basically just coming up with ideas based on certain characters. For example, 上 meaning up, 下 meaning down, and 三 meaning 3. The third way characters were created is logical aggregates, which is basically just putting concepts together. For example, 人 meaning human and 木 meaning wood. Put them together and you get 休 meaning rest. The fourth one is phonetic complexes. It's similar to logic aggregates, but except this time, parts of the character give its meaning or even the sound. For example, 水 and 木 come together to form 木 meaning shower. The next way is transference. For example, 道 used to mean road, but later on it developed another meaning, Tao, as in Taoism. The last way is borrowing. For example, 歌 used to mean song, but later on another character developed the meaning song, and 歌 was replaced with the meaning older brother. Want to create and learn more Chinese? Please subscribe to our channel, Chinese Makes Sense. Thank you.